Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this fun flower crochet block. So these blocks are really cute. They are not difficult to make. Now, if you haven't already and you're a brand new crocheter, you may want to check out my granny square video first. This one is super basic and I go through step by step, very easy. So if you haven't ever done any crochet, you might want to check that one out first. This flower block does use some extra stitches in there. There's quite a few different kinds of stitches. It's not hard and I do show you how to do each one, but it still is a little bit more complicated. So if you're just starting out, I suggest you watch that video first and then come back and we'll do the flower square. Now you can do anything that you can do with a regular granny square as far as finishing with these. You can put them in a cardigan, you could do a table runner or a little table topper, you could do a pillow out of these, you can do a bag out of these. There's lots of fun things to do with this, but I knew you might want something specific. So I do also have the granny flower tote pattern available in my shop as well. This pattern is so cute and it uses 5 of these granny square flower blocks. This bag is also fully lined. I've got that sweet rose print inside there. It's so cute. And I actually did sort of a heavy interfacing on the bottom so that you'll notice this bag actually holds its shape a little bit better. So I put a heavy interfacing in that bottom of the bag, and then I put a fusible fleece thicker interfacing in the body of the bag, so it almost stands up on its own. It has just a little bit more structure than a regular crochet bag would. And then I also added these cute Cocoa Knits leather straps. They're really easy to add. They look like this on the inside, and then they look like this on the outside. And one thing I love about these straps is not only they're easy to add, but you can actually remove them in case you need to wash your bag ever if it gets dirty. And this bag, like I said, is fully lined, so you can definitely wash it if you need to. It features a fun scallop top, which sort of mimics those flowers. And then I also did a few specialty rows in between here just to give it a little bit of texture and added interest. It also has a cute scallop edge along the top to mimic the scallops in the flowers, so very cute there, and then a fun little pattern as well. This bag pattern is already available in my store under the Granny Flower Tote. I will make sure to link it below this video. You can also go to store.confessionsofahomeschooler.com and just type in Granny Square Tote or Granny Flower Tote and you'll see this pattern there. But for now, let's go ahead and start the tutorial and I'll show you how to make the cute Granny Flower Square. For this project, I'm using coastal cotton yarn. This is a worsted weight yarn, and then I'm using an eye hook or 5.5 millimeter hook. So we're going to just make a slip knot, and that just means you make a loop, and then I tuck my tail up through that loop, and then just pull it tight, and then you can put that on your hook. So next we're going to chain 4. A chain is just a yarn over. We're yarning over back to front. So when you yarn over, you're yarning over towards your body. I grab the tail with these 2 fingers just so I can hang on to it, and then you're just going to pull that loop through, and that's 1 chain. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. Yarn over, pull through, that's 3, and then 1 more, yarn over, pull through, that's 4. And then we're going to take that and we're going to join this chain to the first chain, and that's going to make a little circle for us to work in for our flower. You could also start this with a magic loop. I haven't done that in a video yet just because I think it's just kind of fussy and complicated, so I don't like to do it that way. But if you do prefer that, you're welcome to do that. So now we're just going to stick our hook back into that first chain, just like this, and then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to join these with a slip stitch. So you're just going to pull all the way through both loops. And now we have this little circle, there we go, on our hook. And what we're going to do is we're going to be double crocheting in, or triple crocheting, sorry, into the center of this circle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to count as our first stitch. We're going to make 16 treble crochets into this circle, and this chain counts as our first one. So now we need 15 more. So to treble crochet, you're going to yarn over twice. So once, twice. So now we've got those 2 yarn overs, and then we're going to go into the center of our little circle that we just made. So right there into the center. And can I get it closer for you? So that's the center. We're going to run all of them through the center of this little loop we made. So you go in and we're going to pull up a loop. So now we have 4 loops. So we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2. And we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. So we're pulling through a total of 3 times, which is what's making that treble. And it makes a nice tall stitch. All right, so that's technically 2. So we need 14 more. So yarn over twice. Again, go into that center, and I am crocheting over my tail. We're going to weave that tail in anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you catch it or not. I just like to catch it as I'm going. And then again, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So we've pulled through 3 times. And we're going to just keep doing that all the way around this circle. So yarn over twice, go into the circle, pull up a loop, pull through 2. That's 1 time, 2 times, and 3 times. Hence the name treble. And we need to fit 16 of these in here. So I kind of scoot them back as I'm going just to give myself more space. I find that's a little bit easier. And I just scrunch them up as I'm going so that I can fit them all in. And I usually don't pay too much attention at this step. I just keep making more until it starts getting full, and then I'll usually go and count to see how many I have. And you just want to make sure that you have 16 bars or posts or whatever you want to call them, and then you'll be good to move on to the next step. Neat. All right, so we have a nice little circle happening here. So now we just count our posts to make sure. And like I said, our chain 3 is going to count as our first post. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. This is what that circle is going to look like with your 16 posts. And now we're going to take that and we're going to join to the top stitch in our first chain 3. So here's our chain, and I'm just going to join into the top of that. I go through both of those legs, yarn over, I'm joining with a slip stitch, which means I'm just going to pull that through everything, and we're joined. If you wanted to change colors at this point, that's where you would do that. I'm going to continue on with the same color for this square. So that's completed round 1. This is what it's looking like, all completed. We've got 16 posts and a nice little circle shape to start out with. For round 2, we're going to chain up 2, so yarn over, pull through once, yarn over, pull through twice. All right, so we've chained up our 2, and now we're going to do another double crochet in this same space, and I'm actually working into the space for the rest of these all the way around the space between our posts. So we're going to yarn over for a double crochet, go through that entire space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to chain 1. And that's just our first double crochet cluster because we have this chain at the beginning. So the rest of them are going to be just a little bit different. So in the next space, so between our posts, we're going to do a yarn over, go into that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2, but then we're going to stop there and repeat that in this same stitch. So again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we've got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 3, and then chain 1, and that's going to be our next double crochet cluster, and we're going to do that in each of these spaces all the way around. We're going to do a 2 double crochet cluster and then chain 1. So let's do another one. Yarn over, go into that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're stopping. We're going to repeat that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and again stop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3, and chain 1. All right, so we're doing that all the way around this wagon wheel. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and stop, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, stop, pull through all 3, chain 1. And you're going to be getting these cute little double crochet clusters all the way around your circle. So we're going to repeat that all the way around. In each of these spaces, we're doing a 2 double crochet cluster and then a chain 1. Okay, and now I've made it all the way back to the front, and I have one more hole here, but before I add an extra one, I'm just going to count my clusters. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then I have one more in this last space. So we want to have 16 around. So this whole square, every time you do a round, you're going to have 16 of whatever it is you're doing. And I do count at the end of each round just to make sure. So now we have 16 clusters. Now to join this, I think it actually looks better to join in this space between the first and second cluster, but you could join at this top stitch if you prefer. So I'm just going in that space, pulling up a loop and pulling that loop through. So we're joining with a slip stitch. I think it just keeps everything nice and tight and makes our circle look a little bit better. So now we're going to begin round 3, and to begin round 3, again, we're going to chain 2. So yarn over, pull through once, yarn over, pull through twice. Now we're going to do single crochets around, and a single crochet is super easy. We're going to go into the same stitch. We're going to pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and just pull through 2, and that's a single crochet. Easy peasy. So now we've got 2 single crochets in this first space. That first chain 2 counted as one of them. Now we're going to chain 2 to give ourselves a little room for the next round, and we're going to do 2 single crochets in this next space. So we're just going to go right in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, there's 1. Same space, we're going to do another one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. So that's 2 single crochets, and now we're going to do a chain 2. So all the way around, moving forward, we're doing 2 single crochets in our space, and then a chain 2. So 1 and 2 single crochets, and then chain 2. Okay, find our next space, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, chain 2. And this is sort of what it's looking like here. We've got our 2 single crochets and then a little chain 2 in between, and that's going to give us some space for the flowers in our next round. All right, so we just did our chain 2, so now we have 2 single crochets. Pull through, pull up a loop, and pull through. The single crochets are really easy in this round. It'll go really fast. Just don't forget your chain 2s in between. All right, so here we are. We have one more space here that I have to do, and I always just usually stop right here and just count to make sure. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and that means I need to do 2 more single crochets in this last space. So there's 1 and 2, and I need to still do my chain 2, just like that. And again, I'm actually going to join in this space. You could join at the top of this if you want, but I just think it makes it look a little bit cleaner. So I'm just going to join with a slip stitch there, just like that. And here's what our finish round looks like. And we've got these little chain 2 spaces in between all of our 2 single crochet clusters. All right, we are now, so this was round 1, our little the 2 double crochet clusters was round 2, and then the 2 single crochets was round 3. So now we are on round 4. For round 4, we're going to chain 3. So yarn over, chain 1, 2, and 3. Now because our chain is already coming out of this space, we're going to do 3 more double crochets in that same space. So yarn over, go into the same space that your chain is coming out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So this first chain does count as one of your double crochets. We're going to do 4 in this same hole. So we've got that first chain, and then we need 3 more. So that's 1. We need 2 more. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up through 2, pull through 2, and then we need 1 more double crochet in that same space. So now we've got 4 double crochets in this first space. So our chain and then 3 more that we added. Next, we're going to slip stitch in the space between our 2 single crochets. So here's our first single crochet and our second. We're just going to go into that space right between those 2, and we're just going to join with a slip stitch. So pull through, pull through. And then now in this next chain 2 space, we're going to do 4 more double crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's take a quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see already we've got 2 cute little scallops. That slip stitch in between the 2 single crochets is what gives us our scallop going around. So next we're going to find our 2 single crochets. You can see them right there. We're going to slip stitch right in between those. So pull through a loop and pull through. And then here we are at our next chain 2 space. Again, we're going to do 4 double crochets there. And then again, we're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 or the 2 single crochets next to it. So here's, whoops, pulled through all of them. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I do usually look really quick and just count 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again, here's our 2 single crochets. Next to that, we're just going to go right in that space between those 2 single crochets and slip stitch. Just like that. So we can take a quick look. Here's the ones we've done so far. We're going to repeat that all the way around. We're going to do 4 double crochets in each of these chain 2 spaces, and then we're going to join between the 2 single crochets with a slip stitch. So all the way back around, and we should again have 16 petals when we're done. Okay, we're all the way back around to the front, but I have one more space, so I want to make sure before I do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I do need one more petal in that space. I had just joined with a slip stitch, so that makes sense. I just always like to double check. So we're going to yarn over and go into that space with 4 double crochets. Okay, and then this one's just a little bit funky because our chain obviously is joined with our first stitch there. So I just go right into there and join with that slip stitch there. So just that first petal is a little bit wonky because of that first chain, but when you're done and they all squish back together, you won't even notice it. So here is what our finished flower looks like. And by the way, I think this is cute as is, and you could definitely make a bunch of these for coasters. I think that would be really cute. As a matter of fact, I might save this one as a coaster for myself after this. But we are going to turn it into a square so that we can use it in the bag tote that I have coming up. Now in our bag sample, this outer round is actually a different color. So I am going to go ahead and change colors in case you are making this bag just so you can see what is happening. But if you wanted, you could actually continue on with the same color. So to change colors, I'm just going to yarn over and pull through a loop. That was a really long loop. I'm going to cut my yarn and just pull that loop through and tighten it. I am going to go ahead and just weave in these ends really fast because it just annoys me to have these ends in the way. So you can weave them in at the end if you prefer to do that. I also like to use this first end to tighten up that center, and I usually go around a couple times, and then once it's nice and tight, I'll go back the other way. And I just weave these ones back and forth as well. I'm going to grab my new color. This is Coastal Cotton in Vanilla. For this next round, I'm going to join in any of the slip stitch spaces, and I usually try and not do the one where I ended just because I feel like it's already got enough going on there. So I'm just going to pick a different one, and I'm just going to join with a slip stitch in one of the spaces between my 2 petals. So just grab a space just like that. I'm going to grab my yarn. I'm going to pull up a loop just like that. And then I like to yarn over with both and pull through, and that joins it. And now I'm going to drop my tail out of my way. We'll weave that in later. And now we're going to chain 3. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to be turning this circle into a square. So this is actually going to be our first corner space. We're going to do one more treble crochet in this same space. So if you remember, a treble is a yarn over twice. We're going to go into that same space where this stitch is coming out. So right in that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 2 treble crochets coming out of this little slip stitch space. We're now going to chain 2. So there's 1 and 2. So this is a half completed corner. We're going to work our way around, and when we come back, we'll complete the rest of that corner. So for these next slip stitch spaces, that's where we're going to be working. So we just finished doing a chain 2. We're actually going to do a half double crochet in this stitch. So a half double crochet is yarn over. We're going into the next slip stitch space. We're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on our hook. Just like that. And then we're going to chain 2 again. So 1, 2. We're going to, again, half double crochet in our next slip stitch space. So yarn over, get into that next space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. We're going to chain 2 one more time, and then we're going to join with a half double crochet in this next slip stitch space. So you're skipping over your petals, essentially. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And this looks a little bit tight right now, but when we go through and add it to our bag, you're going to see that these chains get kind of pulled, so it'll be fine. All right, so essentially this is our corner. We've got 3 sides, and now this next slip stitch space is going to be our next corner. So we just finished with a half double crochet. We're going to chain 2. Like that. And now we're going to work a corner into this slip stitch space. And how I like to do it is I like to do 2 treble crochets on this side of the slip stitch and 2 on the other side. That evens it out a little bit. You could do them all in the same hole if you wanted. So we're going to yarn over twice for our treble. We're going to go in. I go into the right side of that slip stitch space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. We need 2 of those, so we're going to do that one more time. So yarn over twice, go into that same space, pull through 2, 2, 2. And that's the first half of our corner. We're going to do a chain 2 to create the square look. You'll see in a second. And then we're going to do 2 more treble crochets, but this time I'm going to do it on this side of our stitch. I just like to separate them out like that. I think it kind of evens it out a little bit, but in the long run, it might not matter that much where you put this. All right, so there's 1. We need to do 1 more in that same space. All right, and then we're going to finish it off with a chain 2. There's basically a chain 2 in between all of your stitches, so if you keep that in mind, you'll be good to go. All right, so here is half of our first corner, and then we've got 3 half double crochets in each of those slip stitch spaces between our petals, and then for our next corner, we've got 2 treble crochets, a chain 2, and 2 treble crochets. And that's one side completed. We're going to turn it this way, and we're going to do the same thing across this side. All right, so we've already got our chain 2 completed, so now we're going to half double crochet in each of these slip stitch spaces, and there's 3 per side. So there's 1, don't forget the chain 2s in between. There's another one, so that's 2, chain 2, and we need 1 more half double crochet to complete our side. Again, we're going to chain 2 in between. So we've got our corner and our side completed. Now we're at our next corner. So we're going to do 2 treble crochets, chain 2, 2 treble crochets, and that's what's going to make up our corner. So there's 1, and I'm going again into the right side of that slip stitch. Wait, what did I do? There's 2, chain 2, and then we're going to do the other 2 on the left side of that stitch. So there's 1 and 2. Okay, so here's our first corner we started. Here's our 3 sides. Here's our corner, 3 sides, and our corner. Again, we're going to turn this, and then we're going to work our sides, a corner, and then we'll work that last side and meet back up at the front. So again, we're going to chain 2. We're going to half double crochet into this slip stitch space. Chain 2, half double crochet into that slip stitch space. Chain 2, half double crochet, chain 2, and then now we're at our next corner because we have done 3. There's 3 on the sides. So now we're in our last corner here. So again, we're going to do yarn over twice, and we're going to do 2 treble crochets, chain 2, 2 treble crochets. So there's 1, 2, chain 2, and then we need to do 2 more, and I just do them on the other side again of that slip stitch. Chain 2. So now we've got 3 of our sides done. We're on our last side. So again, we're going to half double crochet into those slip stitch spaces, chain 2. Find the next one, half double crochet, chain 2. 1 more, half double crochet, chain 2. Now, like I said when we first started, we only did 2 of our treble crochets, so we need to finish off this corner. And our corners are 2 treble, chain 2, 2 treble. So to finish this off, we need to do 2 treble and then a chain 2, and we'll join in that corner space. So yarn over twice, go into there, that corner space, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. We need 1 more. Like that. So now we've got our 4 treble crochets. We just need to chain 2 and join it. So chain 1, 2, and this one we're just going to join at the top of that chain 3 that we did at the beginning, like that, with a slip stitch. Yarn over, clip your yarn, and then you can tighten it and weave in that end. All right, so here's what our finished square looks like. Here's our corners with a 2 treble crochet, chain 2, 2 treble crochet. Our sides consist of chain 2, half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet, chain 2. And so you're going to be just doing that all the way around. So here's our square. The pattern shows you how to join all those squares together. You do need 5 of these flower squares to make this bag, and then it shows you how to make this fun top, bottom, and then we've got a nice little oval bottom on the bag, and then the bag is also lined inside as well. If you don't want to make a bag, there's lots of things you can do with these. I think a little cardigan would be really cute. You could make a table runner. You could make an afghan out of them. I mean, anything that you can do with granny squares, essentially you can do with this cute flower block. All right, guys, that is it for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this fun little block. I do plan on making more. I think I'm going to make them for little coasters for my sewing room because they're so cute. The other thing I was thinking as soon as I finished this bag is I was thinking it'd be really cute is a solid color bag, so all just the pink or just the cream color or any color that you like. But what would also be kind of fun is to change colors on each round. So the center would be one color, the next round would be one color, and so on, and just change colors for each round. So you had a really fun, colorful flower bag. I think that'd be really cute. So I may actually be making a second one of these. So stay tuned to my Instagram, because if I make another one, I'll definitely be posting that there. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to thumbs up and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming fun. Thank you so much for joining me for today. As always, links for everything will be below this video, so check there if you're interested, and I will see you next time. Blocks, and then I have a project in here, so you'll be able to see that. Let me take that out. Pull through, that's 2, 3, and oops, I pulled that. Oh, I was doing it with my tail. Okay, start over. To chain, you just pull. Now I can't talk. So should I take this out so my bag is a little more flat? Okay. Now in our bag sample, that is so bright. Turn down the brightness, camera.